Good morning, my friends. Happy Tuesday. Yes, the sun is shining in San Diego again. My lighting's a bit odd today. I do apologize for that. Well, there we go. Anyway, so today, superpowers. That's what we're going to talk about. Before we start, let me just, in case you don't know, explain who we are and where you are. This is PhD and Follow-Up. That's who we are. And our broadcast, My Home Biz Tips, helps business owners learn all sorts of exciting and wonderful things about business, which will help them make more money and have more free time and be more relaxed. We want to help you save yourself time, energy, money, and stress by setting up all sorts of glorious systems. And I talk about those here. And who am I, you might be wondering? I am Andrea Kuchin. And I love feedback and questions. The more questions I get, the more questions I can ask and the more I can learn. So if you have any questions, send them to Andrea at PhD and Follow-Up, or you can call or text me directly. Yes, I do answer at 858-252-1190. You can find out some more information about how I specifically work. PhDandFollowUp.com/Andrea Kuchin. And of course, you can join the conversation in our Facebook group, where you may already be watching this, or you could be watching it in all sorts of other places. But if you are in our Facebook group, you already know that it's called PhD and Follow-Up, More Loyal Customers and Referrals for Busy Business Owners. So I'm going to assume you're a busy business owner, and I'm going to assume that you too might be inspired by the idea of superpowers. Well, it's not so much the idea of superpowers that inspired me. It was a post yesterday I saw that said it was an invitation to, what was it for? To talk about superpowers, basically, which I might do at some point in a different place. By the way, you do know you can find me on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Daily Business Workout, right? You can find me there. Anyway, so the question was superpowers. And I was thinking about this and I was thinking, what's my superpower? Oh, with this, oh, it could be that, or it could be this, or maybe it's that, or actually it's that too. But I do this really well as well. And then I thought, well, why do people talk about a superpower in such a way if there are so many different things? Can I have more than one superpower? Could it be a number of different things? What makes it a superpower as opposed to just something I'm great at, a power, a skill, a super skill, why aren't they called skills? Why are they called powers? Why superpowers? Is it because they're almost magical? So I was pondering these thoughts and I came to the conclusion, well, I don't know the answers for sure. And I don't know whether it's necessary to know the answers for sure, but it is really important to ponder the question. And the reason you have to ponder the question is because it will open up your business in an absolutely incredible way. And I've spoken about this before, but we're talking about it differently in this context. So, what is my superpower? I think my superpower is setting up systems which save yourself time, energy, money, stress. We've all heard that before. It's become almost a cliche, which makes it very difficult because the thing about a cliche is it doesn't mean to say it's not true or valid just because it's a cliche. So things like the fortunes in the follow-up, yeah, it's a cliche, but it's still true. Or connection is currency. That could be perceived to be a cliche as well, but it's still true. So save yourself time, energy, money, stress being an acronym or being the words behind the acronym of systems doesn't mean to say that having systems doesn't save you time, energy, money, and stress. Time, energy, and money saved has the effect of reducing your stress. And that's the whole point. And I think that's probably what I do best. So I figured out in my own little universe, although I believe that I'm in agreement with the majority of people, and you need to be in agreement with the majority of people on certain subjects, because you don't want to start a conversation about something and then suddenly realize you're both talking about completely different things. So it is very important to define things. What I meant was, it's not necessarily possible or important to exactly identify what your superpower is right now, and be very aware that it could change. Everything can change. Everything is an experiment. I worked for a wonderful Australian man some time ago, and he talked about experiments. And I thought, no, you don't experiment. You do something and it's either right or wrong. He said, that's the point. So you experiment. Rather than thinking of it as something that's done, think of it in terms of something that's experimented. You can find this out about it. You can find that about it. You'll see that this worked. You'll see that that worked. You'll see that that worked differently in a better way. That worked better in a different way. It's all an experiment. It's an experience of learning, growth, whatever you want to call it. My viewpoint is, as long as it gives you an answer that is workable, that helps you improve a situation of some kind, that's it. That's what you want. So why even talk about superpowers? The value of knowing what your superpower is, the value of your superpower is when you focus on that, assuming we understand what the definition is, and I'll talk about more about that in a minute. Once you focus on that, you will bring more joy into your life. You'll be happier with what you're doing. You'll also be really, really clear on what it is that you can delegate to other people. Now, you might be at the very beginning of your business journey and you might be thinking, oh, very funny, Andrea, how do I delegate on a zero budget? Well, I can help you with that, because there are ways of delegating things, even on a zero budget, without screwing anybody or cheating anybody or abusing anybody. It's how I started. It's the way that I started with my team. And it's totally fair and absolutely right and totally okay to do it this way. You will know what to delegate to your team and what to focus your attention on, because whatever kind of a business it is, if it's an opportunity that you're offering, if it's an MLM that you do, if it's coaching you have, if it's a health practice, or you're a hairdresser, it doesn't matter what it is. You need to promote your business, and that is not easy if you're on your own. And quite frankly, it's better to hire people who've got more money. I mean, who've got more experience than you have. Otherwise, you've got to learn everything yourself. So it's much better to work with people who know a bit more about a certain subject than you do. You need to know about hairdressing. Absolutely. You need to know how to do it, and you need to know why you do it. Then you explain why you do it to your marketing department. I do it because when a woman has a haircut, it improves her confidence. When a woman has more confidence, she can then approach and confront all those things that she thought were going to be too difficult or unconfrontable. It makes her feel more energetic when she has a haircut. That kind of stuff. You explain that to your marketing department, and then they can do all your Facebook posts and your tweets and your TikToks or whatever it is, right? That is the purpose of knowing your superpower. You can live in your superpower all day. Now, all of the superheroes that I can think of right now, which are Superman and Batman, that's all that comes to mind at the moment, have like an alter ego, right? They are superheroes at some point. Oh, Spider-Man, he was too. In fact, they probably all are, but I can't remember what the alter egos of them are. So they have the superpower and they have the alter ego. So wasn't Superman Clark Kent? Was he a journalist or something? And Batman was a millionaire, something or other. And Spider-Man was a student. They have real lives, which is necessary in the genre that we're looking at, because you have to have that conflict of two different sides in any story to make it exciting. You know, will people discover who they are? We, however, live in the real world. So if you think in terms of your business, you don't want to have to be the alter ego. You don't want to have to be the student or the millionaire, although I can see advantages to that, but that's not the point, or the journalist. You want to be able to be Superman or Spider-Man or Batman all the time, or as much as possible. And when you're not those, you want to be at the pool with your kids or in Disneyland or with your feet up watching a movie with your teenager. My daughter and I, we like watching the Gilmore Girls. I know, what a cliche. Doesn't mean to say that there isn't joy in it, right? Just because it's a cliche doesn't mean to say that it doesn't have some value. Okay, so that's why you need to figure out what your superpower is, so that you can focus on doing that and put your business in a place where you can delegate things to other people. Now, maybe that's a conversation for another day, or maybe that's a conversation that you and I need to have one-to-one. So reach out to me, Andrea at phdandfollowup.com, or call or text me at 858-252-1190, and we can have that conversation. No problemo. In fact, I think if you go to phdandfollowup.com/Andrea Kuchin, I believe that you will, sorry, I just saw a thing flash up. It's distracted me. I believe that there's a link that you can book an appointment to talk to me. If there isn't, do email me a message to say that there's something broken in the system, because that should work, and that's where it should be. I don't want to post it here because it's not the easiest of links to remember. Although I do, of course, have a Calendly link as well. I do have calendly.com, Andrea Kuchin as well. But the point is, you are best in the skill that you practice the best, which is most likely to be the one that you love the most, which is why you're best at it. Now, the problem that I used to have, I mean, probably going back to school, right the way back down to school, was, in my viewpoint, if something was easy to do, I believed it wasn't difficult, obviously, because it was easy to do. But I assumed that everybody else would find it easy to do as well, because I wasn't special. I wasn't any different from anyone else. I was just the same. I didn't have superpowers or special skills, or I wasn't even talented at anything particularly. I did ballet as a kid and I played the guitar. I did neither of them very well. Looking back, I wish I had been better at them. But I wasn't one of these exceptional people with exceptional talents. And because of that, I believed that everything I could do well was something that everybody else was able to do well as well. And therefore, I didn't have a superpower of any kind. And there's a possibility that some of you are sitting in that exact same place as well. So I would ask you to ask yourself about the things that you love doing the most, which are probably things that you've been doing since the beginning of time. And I have just realized that I haven't mentioned something to you that I absolutely love doing, and that's teaching. I love teaching, and I love researching things. You know, sometimes when I do one of these lives, or I do the live in the daily business workout, I research the subject because it's not something I know. I might want statistics, for example, and I look things up and I do some research and I get some answers, and it makes everything much more interesting, and I've learned something, and I love all that stuff. So maybe that's where my superpower is. In fact, as I'm saying it now, I'm almost getting goosebumps because that's the real deal. The organizing and the strategizing and the planning and the systems all feed that, right? But that's what I love to do. Obviously, there are other things I love to do. Like I love to see money coming into my account, and I love to be able to pay for the things that we need. I love my Friday mornings where I go through my bookkeeping and I pay everything that was due that week. And I don't have to worry about the fact that I'm not able to do that. There have been times in my life where I had a certain amount of money and I had a certain amount of expenses, and the money was way smaller than the expenses. And my struggle was, which thing do I pay now? Because I don't have enough money to pay everything. I love now being able to have enough money, not only to pay for things, but to put some aside as well for something else, to pay forward to somebody else, to support more charities or whatever it is, right? I love that. But that doesn't happen if I don't do the other stuff too. But I should be doing stuff that brings me joy. I should be doing stuff where I wake up in the morning thinking, oh, I want to do this. This is fun. I love doing this. How am I going to handle that challenge today? How am I going to sort this out? What's the best solution for this or that or the other? That's my thing, right? Somebody else might wake up in the morning and like to look at a totally blank piece of paper and start to draw. And by the end of the day, there is a beautiful piece of art. Some other people might like to go to an office every day and talk to people who say, this is hurting and that's hurting and this is wrong and that is wrong. And they have the solutions and they give solutions to people. And those people get up and dance because their lives have been improved so much by whatever it was that health practitioner or that doctor recommended. Some people cut people open, take pieces out and put new bits in to fix them. That's their superpower, but they can't do it on their own. If they don't have somebody making sure that that person has enough oxygen and someone else making sure they stay asleep and someone else making sure all the equipment is sterilized and they've got their gloves on and their mask is up and they've got the tools they need, they can't do their job. We are the same. We do our job better if there's somebody else making sure everything that we need to do it is in place, whether it be our promotion or our email blasts or the little images that we put with our Facebook posts, or posting the Facebook post in the first place, or following up with leads, or getting emails written that need to go out to leads or prospects, or closing deals, or having calls with people, or making sure they've got everything they need, whatever it is. We are better able to do what we need to do when we have a team supporting us in whatever way that is. It could be a group, team, community, kind of a team thing. It could be a virtual assistant. And you need to learn how to run those as well, because I have lots of people who come back to me to say, I don't know what to tell my assistant to do, and she doesn't know what to do. My assistant doesn't know what to do. It's like, well, did you tell her? Well, I don't know what to say. There you go. This all needs to be planned out, written out, and strategized on. And the better it's done at the beginning, the better and the bigger the team can grow. You start with one virtual assistant working an hour a day, and then it becomes 2 hours a day and 4 hours a day, and then it becomes 2 assistants, and then it becomes 3 assistants, and then you've got certain assistants that work with certain clients and other assistants that work somewhere else, and your first assistant has now become the operations manager. That's how it works. And it's easy if you plot it all out, if you set up a system. And that, the system, the teaching of the system, I think is where I shine, which is interesting because it would suggest that I might have more than one superpower, right? But I know there are some not only non-superpowers, but there are some non-powers. And I love the fact that I can get someone to support me in those. And it's not as expensive or as frightening or as challenging as you would think. And I've spoken before about how to know where you're best spending your time. When you figure out what your superpower is, that's an easier question to answer. What are the things that I need to be doing that are going to generate more income? And what can somebody else be doing? Because there are certain activities that might not actually directly generate any income at all, but still need to be done. Are those the things that you should be doing, or are those the things that your team should be doing? Figuring out what your superpower is will help you know. So the value of your superpower is knowing for sure which lane you should be in which lanes other people should be in your business. And it actually makes it much, much easier to earn more money. More importantly, it reduces your stress level because you're doing the stuff you love, not the stuff you need to do to keep your head above water. Nobody likes that kind of a business, right? You're doing the things you love. And that way, your business can expand more quickly, more smoothly, and more easily. That's the value of your superpower. There you go. Easy as pie. If you want to talk to me about it, reach out to me. I'm sure there's a calendar link here. Or you can text me or call me 858-252-1190. Or you can send me an email, and please send me feedback. Send me messages saying things like, I liked what you said about that, but I don't think this is true. Or we need more information about that. Or I don't know, whatever it is. Feedback is really important because feedback means that I can give you more of what is helpful to you. Not what I think might be helpful to you, but what you think might be helpful to you. I will know what is helpful to you. Okay? And that's what I'm here for, to help you. Okay, so today was the value of your superpower. Next week, I have no idea. What I do know is that next Tuesday at 11 o'clock Pacific time, I will be here again, giving you all sorts of more, lots more information of all different sorts about things that I think will help you grow your business, because that is my purpose, to help you fulfill your purpose on this planet, doing whatever it is that you were sent here to do. Because as Marie Forleo says, and I don't know whether I'm going to quote her correctly or not, but the world needs whatever it is that you were sent here to do. And if I can help you do that, that makes me a superhero. Okay. All right then, my friends. I will see you next week. I look forward to it. Have a lovely week and keep in touch. Take care. Okay, what do I do now? I go to brand. I go to closing. Yeah, there we go.